Alrighty, we are live, ladies and gentlemen, as your New York Knicks lose to the Los Angeles Lakers by a final score of 97-110. Appreciate every single one of you guys in the chat. Shout out to every single one of you guys. Smash the like button, subscribe, all the good stuff. Sunday afternoon hoops in LA. And boy, oh boy, did the New York Knicks look way too relaxed out there from start to finish. Obviously in the fourth quarter, Jalen Brunson came alive, but it was just a little bit too late. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Man, from the jump, right? It just felt like the New York Knicks just offensively were just like a step slow in this basketball game. And you know, that's what led to Mike Brown having to bring in Jordan Clarkson, who I actually thought played pretty well for them, considering that he hasn't played in quite some time, right? So, you know, first and foremost, Mikal Bridges finishes the game with 0 points, 0 of 6 from the field, 0 of 4 from 3. I mean, when is the last time Mikal Bridges had 0 points in a basketball game? When? I genuinely would like to know. I don't think that's happened this year. I don't think that happened last year. I could be totally wrong, but when is the last time Mr. Mikal Bridges had no points in a basketball game? Just an absolute shit show, if you want to be blunt. And then our captain, Jalen Brunson, now he woke up in the fourth quarter, but another inefficient night from him, kind of, right? 8 of 20 from the field. But from quarters 1 through 3, he just really couldn't get it to go. He had 7 turnovers tonight. And that's been like trending in the wrong direction. Gives you 7 assists. Right? It's just like, it's like the problem within this Knicks team is like, when everyone else doesn't like have it, and Cat actually I thought had a really good game, 25 and 16. But you need Brunson to kind of be efficient and be Jalen Brunson and be great. And his efficiency has dipped a little bit, right? And you really just got nothing. Like, just dropped 97 points. Mikal Bridges gives you a donut. Hart 8 points. Anunoby 13 points. You know, the bench, 4 points from D. Warwood, 4 points from Mitch. Shout out to Jordan Clarkson again. Gives you 9 points, 10 points from Shamet. But it was just like a boring basketball game. Just to be blunt. Like, they made it kind of respectable in the fourth, cutting it to like 12. Lakers called timeout. But even so, I just felt like the Knicks were just relaxed in LA. Like, they got to LA, the weather got to them. It's been cold as hell. They've been dealing with some tough weather. They got to LA, finally some warm weather, and they just relaxed. And then this is what led to you dropping 97 points and allowing 110 to the Lakers, which isn't terrible. They're actually better without LeBron James. And, you know, the Lakers, I mean, Luka and Austin Reeves were pretty much their show. And that was all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. Just a really frustrating, boring, lifeless basketball game that we saw today, right? It's boring. So, once again, shout out to the chat. Shout out to you guys for tuning in. Happy Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. Sunday afternoon hoops post game at 6:25 p.m. over here on the East codes. Appreciate the members in here. Wayne, what's going on? Wayne, appreciate you in here. Isaiah, what's going on? Isaiah says Knicks honestly looked disinterested in this game and only decided to take it seriously at the end. That's perfectly put. The New York Knicks looked disinterested and only decided to put together a respectable showing in the fourth quarter. Like Jalen Brunson starts the fourth quarter 4-4. The offense starts to get going with our captain. And even when they were making their run, like I never really got the sense that they were winning this basketball game because of how they looked in the other quarters. But hey, fourth quarter, you make it, you get it down to single digits, then you get the Lakers kind of nervous, but it just never got to that point. Joel, what's going on? Appreciate you, Joel. Joel says too inconsistent from a Nuggets huge win to their loss. Come on, man, get it together. Yeah, man. Wayne says, and that's the thing, like, I didn't want to fall into. Now it's just one game. We'll see how they fare against the Clippers. But if I hope that this is like one hiccup in the road. Like one hiccup in the road. You get a pass. You're in LA. You had a big emotional win in Denver. Then you fly to LA. You're seeing palm trees. You're feeling the weather. You're out there in short sleeves and then shorts. You're feeling good about yourself after that big Denver win. And then the Lakers just came out with energy. And then you see the LeBron James being out before the game. So it just felt like the Knicks relaxed. And against this Lakers team they're pretty good. They're better without LeBron, surprisingly. Luka and Austin Reeves are actually a pretty dynamic duo in that regard. It just seems like on a Sunday afternoon, the Knicks just... like how we felt today. The clocks moved forward. You woke up kind of groggy, right? You woke up kind of groggy, kind of cranky. And it just seemed like the Knicks thought this game was an hour before it should have been. And that's exactly how it felt. Right? I think that's a perfect way to explain this one. So, Jay says, Mikal Bridges, show some spine, man. On the last 3 games, you have been useless, but I blame Brown for not seating you and let Muhammad do his thing and learn. Anytime a player can come in and give you a donut, that's a problem. Come on. Like you can't have no points. Only attempted 6 field goals, but you can't have no points. Because you know what that opens up? It opens up everyone talking about the picks. And that's what I saw on the timeline. 5 first-round picks for this. It opens that can of worms back up. And you just can't have 0 points. The caliber player he is, he missed a midi in the fourth, which I thought would have probably got him to 2 points, but he missed it. It wasn't a bad spot. I'm not sure. Him and Jalen Brunson had a crossover in the fourth quarter when the Knicks were running, and Brunson turned the ball over, and you could tell that he was frustrated when Mikal Bridges moved more to the corner, and Brunson thought he was going to be more closer to him, and Brunson turned the ball over. Not sure if that was Brunson or Mikal, but I'm going to point that to Mikal because it just seemed like he wasn't engaged tonight. And 0 points, man. That can't happen. It just cannot happen. And today was just a stinker from number 25 in the New York Knicks. And there's no sugarcoating it, right? We judge these games game by game. And today was a bad game from Mikal in terms of offense. And away we go. The New York Knicks are now 41-24 on the season. The Boston Celtics beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. So now we are further and further from that 2 seed. It is still obtainable, but this is why these games matter, ladies and gentlemen. These games matter. Now you're in the 3 seed still. Boston wins. They kind of gained some ground on Detroit, and away we go. Appreciate every single one of you guys in the chat. Once again, happy Sunday. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Your New York Knicks lose 97-110. Sucks, man. SWE says West Coast time change, early game, never in our favor. That's exactly how it felt, right? West Coast time change. The time is already messed up. Afternoon game. That's exactly how the New York Knicks played. And look, I know most of you guys don't really like hearing excuses, but sometimes we got to bake these things in. Sometimes. Right? Sometimes. Say Quizzy, what's going on? Says we look like the Cavs game out here. Brick by brick by brick by brick. Somebody else said Jose Alvarado has no offense. 7 minutes from Jose Alvarado. 1 turnover. -6 on the day. And it's games like today where the New York Knicks are struggling to find offense, where Mike Brown decided to go to Jordan Clarkson, and credit to Jordan Clarkson, came in, hits a 3, 3 or 4, 9 points, did more in 10 minutes than Mikal Bridges did all game, by the way. So it's just good to have that luxury off the bench. Now he hasn't been in the rotation, but always still stay ready. He's a vet. And it just brings me to like a game in the playoffs where the Knicks are struggling from offensively. Mike Brown can go to a Jordan Clarkson, right? Or the Knicks are struggling with, passing per se. Mike Brown can go to Kolek. This gives him options, and Clarkson comes in and gives them 9 points. And I really wish we would have had just more offense, especially, from OG and Mikal. But I'm not. OG, this is how OG has been. Like, this is how he's been. He just has to find that consistency. But with this team, it's like they never really have. And lately they've been playing better despite the Jalen Brunson shooting struggles. And today was kind of like a mixture of everything. And Brunson just didn't have it early on and gives you 7 turnovers. It's not a recipe to win. Butch, what's going on? Butch, appreciate you in the chat. Says relax because Brunson slows the game down. Butch throwing haymakers at Jalen Brunson. What's going on? Freddie says just one game, but nasty stuff today. Yeah, nasty. Mac Jean says Jordan Clarkson just has no defense. CJ says Kolek deserves second chance. GTA 5 does not look good. Alvarado's looked okay. He's looked good. Has some stinkers here and there, but for the most part, I think offensively, he's been struggling from 3. He's not confident in his 3, but the passing has been there. Him and Towns have developed chemistry, but so has Kolek, right? So somebody asked me if Deuce McBride comes back, how would the rotations be? I honestly just think it's who's the hot hand. Like, who's the hot hand? If the player is playing well, you play him. If he's not playing well, sorry, you're going to be relegated to the bench. And that's how this Knicks team has kind of been set up, and I'm okay with it. L Figure, what's going on? What an absolute garbage basketball game. Yeah, garbage. No other way to put it, man. 18 turnovers for the team. 8 of 34 from 3. So we look like the Nuggets last game, but today we were the Nuggets. 8 of 34 from 3. 1 of 5 from Cat, 1 of 4 from OG, 0 of 4 from Mikal, 0 of 3 for Muhammad. Alvarado misses 1. Ugly, man. Ugly. It's just getting like 47 rebounds. They out-rebounded them. It's just like the hustle plays weren't on the side of the Knicks. Like Marcus Smart was plus 27 on the night. He didn't really score, but he didn't have to. Like, he was kind of like their Josh Hart today. Throwing the ball over Brunson, they got out of bounds, hustling for loose balls, like stuff like that. The Knicks wanted no part of doing that today. No part. And that's what led them to lose by 13 on the road. And, Luka gives them 35 and 4 and 8. Stupid foul on Muhammad Diawara on Luka Doncic early on in the game where Luka just goes into his body and they call a foul. I mean, come on now. But Austin Reeves killed them. And Luke Kennard comes in and gives him 3 threes, and Rui gives him 3 threes as well. And that's your ball game. So El Figgy says, truth is we had our chances at the end and we fumbled this game away. Yeah. Yep. Chris says Bridges, 27 minutes, 0 points scored. It just can't happen. It just can't happen. Like, You're always going to bring up the picks when he has games like this. 5 first-round picks for a goose egg in a marquee matchup where the game's on national television. Nor that I care about that, but it just can't happen. And look, sometimes players have bad games, right? Sometimes they have bad games. They do. What I want to see from Mikel is not this thing snowball, right? Don't let it snowball, right? You have a back-to-back. You're in the other side of the town. Let's have a bounce-back game. Let's not have this thing snowball, ladies and gentlemen, because again, everyone is praising Boston now. Jason Tatum's back. The Celtics are the team to beat in the Eastern Conference. Yada yada yada. Right? Nor that we care about that, but I'm just saying. Hold on, I don't know what's going on with my. Let's go to the standings. But now you are 3 games behind Boston in the loss column. 2 games behind them in the win column. You have them a game at the end of the season, right? But now you are 2.5 games behind them. And that can easily flip. 2.5 games is nothing, right? With 18 left, that can be made up. But the more you have games like tonight, the more. Like, 3rd seed isn't terrible. Like, I'm not worried about finishing in the 3rd seed. But in the second round, you're looking at the Celtics with home court advantage again. And look, I still do think the Knicks are better than them. But, I mean, we'll see. I just hope that how they looked versus Denver, right? Even versus OKC at times, right? How they've looked lately in over, 20 games. They've been pretty good. You just hope that these hiccups don't spiral out of control. And that's what it was doing in January. Like, they would have a hiccup. Then they would follow that by a hiccup. Then they would follow that by a stinker. And then it would just keep going. Well, let's hope that we can come out our next game and put this one behind us, man. I know they're in LA. They're feeling themselves. They're feeling the weather, right? They got the shorts on, probably on a beach, probably went out late last night. And then, boom, time changes. And then you got this afternoon game in LA. And then they absolutely look flat the entire game. The entire basketball game. 4th quarter was better. But still, you still lost. West End, what's going on? It says Knicks were lazy today. Very much, West End. What's going on, West End? Lazy. El Figgy says, where was Cat in the last quarter? The funny thing is, Cat actually finished with solid numbers, but Brunson got it going in the 4th quarter. And look, Cat gives it 25 and 16 tonight. 25 and 16. Now his threes weren't calibrated, but everyone has been seeing the defensive numbers. He's been better defensively, but today would have been a good game for Cat to give you. What I'm trying to Cat to give them 38 and 16, willing them to a win. Right, but because I thought for the most part he was pretty good. Got to the free throw line 8 times, gives you 25 and 16 on a pretty efficient day, except from 3. And it just never really transpired into anything for anybody, honestly. And especially number 25 when you get no points out of a starting member in your lineup. Honestly, guys, when is the last time Mikel scored 0 points in a basketball game? I don't think that's ever happened with the Knicks. Look, I know there's first times for everything, but I never want to see today again. Never. Ever. Ever. From Mr. Number 25, number Mikal Bridges. 0 points. Goose egg. Again, no LeBron. And the Lakers play better without LeBron. Right? Surprisingly. Luka and Austin Reeves were taking turns out there. Taking turns out there. And that's what led to this loss. So, here we go. El Figgy says JB needed to find Cat more, Mikel or himself less. Yeah, I mean, look, Brunson gives you that big 4th quarter, but I mean, without that fourth quarter, like he started the 4-4-4, which I'm like, okay, Jalen Brunson's starting to get it going. Let's go. And then after, like prior to that, though, it was just more inefficiencies. And, that's kind of been the Jalen Brunson that we've been seeing. The inefficiencies have started to, really show. And we're really not used to that. Now, the assist numbers have been up, which has been a very positive sign for him. I think in the month of March, he's like 12 assists a game. Obviously, the 2 back-to-back 15 assists will do that and help that out. But it's just he needs to just recalibrate his shot, and I think he will. I'm not concerned about his shot. I'm not. Now, maybe he has an ailment. It's late in the season. Maybe his ankle. He's not getting enough lift. It's me trying to make excuses for him, but he just hasn't looked like the dominant Brunson offensively that we're so accustomed to. And I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be okay. But we'll see, because it's been a trend now. Appreciate every single one of you guys in the chat. Once again, if you're new here, hello, I'm Anthony. I do post games after every single Knick game. Would really appreciate you guys to hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the like button. Your New York Knicks lose to the Los Angeles Lakers by a final score of 110-97. Back-to-back games on ABC. Lakers beat the Knicks, and Boston beats Cleveland. So now the Boston Celtics are even further ahead of the New York Knicks, and that is the only thing I'm looking at right now. Is like, can we catch Boston? Can we get the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference? And I still do think we can. There's still a lot of games left. The Knicks have a very easy schedule to end the season, but today was just one of those funky, lazy LA, they got comfortable, and it just wasn't their day. Time changed. That's exactly how they looked. They looked how I felt this morning, like groggy and just needed a vacation in LA. Now, the schedule don't stop though, right? That's the beauty of the NBA. You got a back-to-back tomorrow. Now, they're probably going to stay in the same hotel, but you got a back-to-back tomorrow against the Clippers. And don't just discount the Clippers, ladies and gentlemen, because if you think that's going to be a layup, I don't think that's going to be a layup. Clippers have, been okay. They've been fine. But 10 p.m., like you go from a 3 p.m. West Coast time to a 10 p.m. West Coast, like that's a lot. But then you got the Utah Jazz, and we all know the New York Knicks struggle in Utah. And then the Indiana Pacers, and then that's the end of your 5-game road trip. Like that ends the longest road trip left of the season. Right? And then again, the schedule lightens up after that. So I just think if they can get through this, last 3, 2-1, preferably 3-0, because Utah and Indiana should be layups, like, in my opinion. If this Knicks team wants to be where they want to be at the end of the season, Utah and Indiana should be layups. Should be. It's the Clippers game off a back-to-back that I'm kind of, weary about. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But, yeah, man, just nasty game, man. Nasty game. Let's hit some of your comments. Appreciate you guys in the chat. You guys are awesome. Appreciate every single one of you. Gerald says, I'm tired of this team going back to Thibs ISO offense. Yeah. I mean, look. Prior to tonight's loss, defensively, the Knicks have been one of, if not the best teams in the NBA. Offensively, they showed you exactly what they can do versus the Denver Nuggets, right? So I'm not going to say they're allowed to have these types of games because of what we saw in January, but I'm not going to jump off the roof and get crazy if they sometimes have these games where they just come out flat. But what I am going to do is point out this, like 27 minutes and no points. Like, what did you, like, what were you, what were you doing? We need you to score, Mikel. We need you to score, buddy. Come on now. You're gifted. Score. El Figi says the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. Why did Jalen keep trying to draw fouls at the end of the game? We can all see Reeves fouling him. Didn't like that. Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, you know that's in their game plan. You know, on the whiteboard in opponents' locker rooms, do not close out on Jalen Brunson because he is very crafty at drawing that 3-point foul. And teams know that he's trying to get in the paint and draw fouls. And he's pretty good at it. And he gets fouled a lot, sometimes more, like way more than what you see in the free throw numbers. But I just think he gets this like unfair advantage with refs because they see all the quote unquote flops from him. So when he does get fouled, they don't call it. And yeah, I mean, look, he struggled up into the fourth quarter. But I just don't like this 7 turnover. Anytime your assists, your turnovers are above 5, right? 7 from your captain is kind of like eye-opening. And he just needs to recalibrate himself, like offensively, and he just needs to recalibrate himself. Like his shot is not falling right now. It's not. And I'm hoping in the fourth quarter he found something because he did hit some nice shots on a nice running layup off the backboard, a corner 3. Like it seemed like he got more arc in his shot in that fourth. So hopefully he can carry over to tomorrow's game. But we'll see. AP. Appreciate you in the chat, AP. We were just talking about you the other day. Like, where is AP? Haven't seen him here in a while. Appreciate you in here, man. He gives me the super chat. Appreciate you again. Thank you for the support. Really do appreciate it. We need 10 wins to match last year. Don't think we're coming out the East. I think the Knicks are going to find a way to contribute to the JT storybook. Oof. See, that gets me a little like the story. Like when you said it, when you put it like that, the Knicks are gonna find a way to contribute to the JT storybook. I kind of don't like that. And you know that he wants to beat the Knicks. And right now, if the season ended today, they would play us in the second round. And it would be Celtics home court advantage. Right? Obviously, we could point to last year, what we did to them, beating them twice in Boston. But man, we'll see. We'll see. Guys, today, if the season ended, the New York Knicks will face the Orlando Magic in the first round. How the tides have turned. Like the Sixers are dealing with injuries. Magic have started to find the winning formula. If the season ended, the Knicks and Magic would face off in the first round. And all of these teams, Magic, Raptors, Heat, 76ers, are separated by like a game. And look, either one of those opponents, I see the New York Knicks beating them, right? But it's when we get to the second round and third round where it's like a lot of Knicks fans don't have faith in this team. I do. But, we'll see. You will see. I mean, yeah, guys, for the most part, this team has been, over the last like 20 games, they've been fairly consistent, right? They've been fairly consistent. Like AP says, we need 10 wins to match. What do we got 53 wins last year? What was it? 53. Let me see. I think it was 53, right? No, 51. I thought it was 53. 51 wins to match last year's record. So yeah, 10 wins. You're at 41. You need 10 wins out of your next, I think, 18 games, which I think you will get. I think the Knicks finish with like 52, 53 wins because like Utah, Indiana, Golden State, I mean, I don't know if Steph is going to be there, but Indiana, Brooklyn. Look at the stretch. Indiana, Brooklyn, Washington, New Orleans. I mean, come on now. That's in my opinion 4 right off the gate, and these next 3 are winnable. So I do think the Knicks will surpass their win total next year. I mean, last year, excuse me. But where does that get them? Right? No one's gonna care if you surpass their win total last year, but you don't surpass the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, no one's gonna care. Right now, all you have to do is worry about getting the 2 seed. Right? Worry about getting the 2 seed. And I think they will. Once again, shout out to the chat. Eddie, Grady B. I don't know what you're talking about, Grady B, but okay. Eddie says we will slip to the 4th position. I don't like that. Source, come on, Source. Don't bring that negativity in here, Source. What's going on, Source? Appreciate you in the chat. CJ says we got Brunson number. Not worried. Trust me. Boston don't want to see us. Let's go. Say Quizzy says I'm scared of the Magic, not because we got to lose, but someone might get hurt. I'm not scared of the Magic, man. I think the Knicks have played them like pretty well, right? And that would just be MSG South. I'm not. First round should be I dare I say cakewalk for this Knicks team if they play how they've been playing. First round, you should blink and the first round should be over, in my opinion. Like, if it's like a tough 6-7 game series in the first round, we got problems. Right? So, as long as you advance, who cares? But look, over the last really month and some change, the Knicks have been okay with some hiccups, and today was one of them. Right? They've lost 2 out of their last 3 games. You don't want this thing to spiral. Is all I'm saying. You don't want this to spiral. Right? So, away we go. I want to hear what Mike Brown has to say. Probably going to share the same sentiment I have, that the Knicks came out flat. James Edwards kind of baked in some excuses for the New York Knicks when he said, this was Mike Brown. Here's Mike Brown after the game, right? He says, quote, "We didn't give our chance to win most of the game," said not controlling the controllables in the root of his frustration, right? Then Mike Brown talked about, this is what I said, the inability for the teams to get the 50-50 balls and reaching instead of defending. He thought his team fouled all night, left their feet on both ends. Yep. And then James Edwards kind of baked in some excuses for the team. Hold on. I want to see it. Because I know he tweeted about, here it is. He says, I know this is small. He says, "No one has seen warm weather and sunshine since the NBA Cup. And it looks like they're more relaxed than normal." I don't want to hear the excuses, but there are concerns in these losses that make you raise an eyebrow a little bit. Hove says Luka keeps on foul baiting. Agree, Hove. Appreciate you, Hove. Agree. The foul that he drew on Mo D was laughable and pathetic. That's Luka. That's Luka. Parker says we have no chance with Brunson at this point. Come on, Parker. I don't think that's true, man. It's only going to get louder if the New York Knicks continue to get eliminated in the playoffs. That talk will only is going to get louder, like the small guard stuff. But I just don't agree with that. I still do think that there's a world where this Knicks team can hoist a trophy with Brunson at the helm, but they have to play kind of like how they have been playing, like how they played against the Spurs, right? Like how they have played against Denver, right? So Mike says, "Oh my God, everyone take your diapers off. It was a bad game that we honestly could have won if we attacked the basket in the last 6 minutes. Lakers were scared. We're going to be fine come playoff time." Mike says, "Relax, relax, relax." What's going on, Mike? Appreciate you hopping in here. El Figgy says, "I hear you, but we should have won today, so you never know with us." Yeah. I agree. El Figgy says, "The Magic always gives us problems. Bane is a menace." They do, but I'm not like that. That's a problem if you lose to the Magic in the playoffs. Like that's a whole nother issue where we're not gonna get in today. But I think like first round should be a cakewalk for this team. Cakewalk. And preferably you would want the Toronto Raptors, but if it's the Magic, it's just still should be a cakewalk. Right? But if they play like how inconsistency we've seen sometimes from them, it's not gonna be a cakewalk. And even last year wasn't a cakewalk. So, like, against the Pistons, it wasn't a cakewalk. It was tough. Celtics wasn't a cakewalk. It was tough and, like, tough. Right? I guess that's what most Knicks fans want to see from this team is, like, just consistently dominate. Consistently dominate. If you want to be the top team in the Eastern Conference, we need to see it night in, night out. And look, we're not going to see it night in, night out. See, towards the end of the season, you have, guys are banged up. I mean, all their focus right now is on the standings. That should be their focus, and to get more consistency offensively and defensively, and they have been. They've been really good defensively. And Karl Anthony Towns has been the head of that, surprisingly, defensively. Right? So, Mike says everyone keep panicking, but it's good that we're experiencing these foul baiting players with 18 games left to go. You want to see how they guard players like that. Yeah. And look, you split the series versus the Lakers. You're 1-1 against them. It's out of conference. Still no excuse, but it just sucks that the Celtics played 3 hours prior to you and they beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. And then right after that game, you come out extremely flat against the Los Angeles Lakers. When this is the time where you should be building good habits, winning these games you're supposed to win. I don't even know if the Knicks were favored in this game. I would think they were. Coming into this game with no Bron and coming off that big game in Denver, I would think they would be favored in this game. But El Figgy says their zone defense clamped us. JJ Redick went zone. Every time the New York Knicks, like out of a timeout, and we've seen that quite a bit. And quite frankly, we really haven't seen that defense too much lately. And right where you thought the Knicks were rolling, like the Lakers will throw things off, and that's good coaching, right? They throw things off, they would go zone, and when you have one of your small forwards shooting a goose egg, again, that cannot happen, right? If there's anything you want to say today, it's that Mikal Bridges should not be coming out of a basketball game scoring 0 points. Zero points for, I believe, the first time as a New York Knick. Should not happen. I'm just briefly going through his game log last year to make sure I have this I mean, yeah, he had no points versus Brooklyn, but that was when he wanted to extend his streak. So, you know, he played no man. He played like 30 seconds in that basketball game to end the season last year. But I don't know. The last time he did it was January 10th of last year. 32 minutes, no points against the Thunder. That's the last time he did it. Last year against the Thunder, where they smoked us. So it has happened for Mikal. But it can't happen, man. It can't happen. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Once again, smash the like button. If you're new here, hello. Sorry that we couldn't come out with this victory, but they got a game tomorrow against the Los Angeles Clippers. And what you want to see in this group is this Knicks team come out tomorrow with a different mindset. They get the LA weather out of their system, and they come out tomorrow with more urgency and win. I'll be surprised if they don't, to be quite honest with you. I'll be surprised if the Knicks come out tomorrow flat again and we lose. Then it's like, okay, now we're starting to see the bad habits again, right? So, oh, man. El Figgy says, if there's a positive, I've been impressed with Karl Anthony Towns. Yes, been really impressed with him, defensively especially. If Cat's going to play like this defensively, that's the key to going far in the NBA playoffs. Cat defense, hello, thank you. And look, his threes, somebody did a study that because he's playing better defensively and because the Knicks are asking him a lot, that his threes are kind of taking a hit because he's exerting a lot of energy more throughout the basketball game, so he doesn't really have enough lift in his shot. I saw that floating around on Twitter. Whatever it is, I think he'll be okay, but it's been pretty much close to a full season where Cat shooting the three just has been hit or miss, right? So we'll see regarding that. Zim, what's going on, Zim? Says people worried about Brunson is ridiculous. He had a few bad performances. Go look at Jalen Brunson playoff stats and calm down. Be more concerned about Mikal and OG being consistent. Exactly. Yeah. That's the thing. Like, if this Knicks team wants to win a championship, they've shown you that when everything is clicking, when their offense is clicking, as well as their defense, they are one of the best teams in the NBA. When a couple of guys are like inefficient, out of it, and they're really like Alvarado today was out of it. You know, Brunson until the fourth quarter was out of it. Mikal, 0 spot. Hart was like, And you know, Lakers game plan and guarding Josh Hart. It's not a recipe to win. It's not a recipe to win. Right? Mark says physical game. That's why it looked boring. Officiating was terrible for both sides. Yeah, officiating is always terrible. I mean, what else is new? What else is new? Talented Nate. What's going on, bro? Says Josh Hart starting and not looking to shoot is killing our potential of being great offense. Can't put in a fast break player with 2 ISO players. Bring him off the bench with Alvarado and Shamet. It's frustrating because versus the Nuggets birthday game, he was awesome. Versus the Nuggets, he was awesome. But today he wasn't. And I already went through the numbers with Landry Shamet and the starters. Landry Shamet is more accustomed to coming on off the bench. The numbers show it. Him and Alvarado, they've been pretty good with some starters mixed into that. But yeah, I mean, up until this point, if you think the starting 5 is going to change, I don't think it is. I think this is the starting 5 up until the playoffs. And when the playoffs are here, we can evaluate. We can evaluate. So yeah. I see you guys in the Discord. Wade and El Figgy and Say Quizzy. Please be patient with me. Appreciate you in the Discord. Wade and you guys can call in, hit the Discord link. Giving away the some Knicks Nation hats. The last winner has not messaged me yet for the hat. You won. I don't know. Has not messaged me for the hat, so I'm hoping that he does. But giving away Knicks Nation hats and gear in the giveaway section in the Discord. And yeah, just ugly game. Ugly game. Source says that's the problem. Everything needs to be perfect. Great teams find ways when things aren't going their way. Yeah, and there's a lot of discourse right now surrounding the Celtics. A lot. Tatum's back. Tatum looks amazing. The Celtics are the team to beat in the East. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. But what I'm not going to do is disregard them. That's what I'm not going to do. Because right now, they're ahead of you in the East. Right? It's not like they're behind us in the East chasing us. We're chasing them. And this was without Tatum. We're chasing them. Right? So I don't really fall into that, Tatum talk and the Celtics, but I'm keeping an eye on it. I am. And I know they just lost Vucevic, too, to a hand injury, so I'm keeping an eye on it. But Pistons, they've lost. Look at the Pistons now. They've lost 3 straight games. That's where I'm upset. Like, the Pistons have lost 3 straight games. Celtics have gained ground on them. They're 3 games back for the number 1 seed. 3 games in like 18, that is nothing. So I don't even think the Pistons are a given to finish with the number 1 seed. I don't. They just lost a comeback to the Nets the other day. Now, I got no Cade, but still, they're going through some things. They're going through some issues. So just take advantage of all this, man. Win the games you're supposed to, and the standings will show. Show that. Right? It will. It will. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Hove says Brunson was getting fouled a lot and not getting called. Yeah. Yeah, look, it happens, man. I mean, that's Jalen. That's the officials with Jalen Brunson. That's why Tom Thibodeau had that great, what was it, last year, the great rant where he said he's getting fouled, he's getting fouled, he's getting fouled, he's getting fouled. He's getting fouled, he's smaller, so they're not going to call everything. But he does not get treatment like other superstars do. He does not get treatment like Luka does, or even though Luka complains over everything, or SGA or anyone like that. But, here we are. All right. Let's go to the call-in show. Let's go to El Figgy. How are you, El Figgy? Welcome in to the Knicks Nation post-game show. What you got tonight?
Good, Ant.
What up?
Man, I just want the playoffs to start and let the chips fall where they may at this point. I'm getting sick and tired of this team.
Likewise, man. Likewise. I just hope this doesn't spiral. I just hope it doesn't spiral, and I don't think it will, but we'll see.
We'll see, because you never know. Today was supposed to be an easy. After we beat Denver, was supposed to be the hardest game on this West Coast trip.
Mm-hmm.
So Kawhi could go off.
Denver's supposed to be the hardest game. You smoke them. Then you got the Lakers. You're feeling good about yourself, but they fell into the LA trap. They got comfortable with the weather and the time change, and they looked absolutely like they did not want to play a basketball game today, and they lost.
Yeah, I mean, Kawhi could go off for 60 tomorrow. Who knows? Who knows with us?
Yep. Exactly.
It's disappointing. I mean, look, Jalen at the end there, we had our chances, and we had our chances there at the end. Jordan Clarkson came in and he did exactly what he was supposed to do. Brought down that 22 point. I think at one point they were leading by 21 or 22 points.
Mm-hmm.
You brought in JC. We bring the lead down to a manageable number. six minutes left in the game. There were a lot of problems. There wasn't just one. You can't pinpoint one. Jalen made some bad decisions there at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mike Brown has to take the bulk of the responsibility here, leaving Cat on the bench way too long there in the fourth quarter. Why wasn't he out there sooner? When I made the comment, where was Cat? It wasn't that he disappeared. I wanted to know why wasn't he on the court a lot sooner than they put him out there. Running the offense to him would have made a big difference. And also, I don't know if Mike Brown is afraid of Rick Brunson, if he's afraid of Jalen. There are times when you just have to look at matchups and you have to coach with your eyes. And if Jalen does not have it or he's making bad decisions, look, he kept trying to draw those fouls at the end, and you could see in the instant that Austin Fouls was very obviously fouling him. The refs swallowed their whistles. Why? We'll never know. I mean, I think the reason the refs they deliberately have no calls against us is because our guys complain a lot, man. Towns, Brunson, Hart, they're always complaining, being demonstrative to the rep. It's just, it might be getting on there and they're like, you know what, we're not going to do. Do they do it for SGA? Sure. Why don't they do it for us? There's a lot of theories floating out there. Is it because we didn't hang their precious in-season tournament banner? So it's disrespectful to the league that we don't. So now they're going to show the Knicks, you guys think that you're better than the in-season tournament banner. Nah, who knows? They don't call the whistle. We don't get the whistle. Jalen now knows how Cat feels on a daily,
Yeah.
And there were just a lot of mistakes coming down the end there.
Yeah, and I never heard of that theory. Wow. That's kind of crazy. But I just think as a whole, like the NBA, the referees suck. Like it's been happening, and it just is magnified because we're watching these Knicks games, and it seems like it happens more to us and Jalen Brunson. If they want to, honestly, if they were robot refs, I think he would be at the free throw line at least 20 times a game. But they're not going to call everything. They don't want to stop the action. They like, this is how it's going to be in the playoffs. Rough, physical, no calls, right? And I just think that, yeah, you brought up the complaining. It happens. But, yeah, Mike Brown needs to realize sometimes game in, game out. Look, he's Jalen Brunson. He's our captain. You're obviously going to trust him in any situation and get us out of it. And he did have a big fourth for us, but a little bit too late. But, yeah, I mean, you're on Figgy. It's just one of those things where it's like on to the next, on to tomorrow.
Exactly. I think today was just a perfect storm of a lot of problems, starting with coaching, starting at the beginning of the game, Josh getting lost, Cat power walking, Mikhail showing up for his perfect attendance record, Jalen forcing it, just Jalen forcing it. It's just, there was just a lot of bad things we did today. I mean, OG had it defensively, but not as much offensively. So there were a lot of things that didn't go our way today. Yeah. I'm not gonna, throw out the baby with the bathwater. I think we're still a contending team. I think that, like I said, at this point, I just want the playoffs to start and let the chips fall where they may.
There you go. Well, Figgy, appreciate you calling in. You're always welcome. Thank you for the support as always. Say Quiz.
Thank you.
Say Quizzy. What you got tonight? Today?
You hear me?
Yeah, I got you loud and clear.
That was a rough game. I was hoping we could get this W after we just spanked the Nuggets, thinking like, oh, they got a little rest. Okay, no LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we could get this dub, then get a little rest before the Clippers game. But just the threes, it wasn't falling again. So, and we took 34, and like a lot of them, some of them was wide open, but some of them I was like, we need to go to the paint. We need to do something else right now because nobody got it. But like even in this game, like even when we was down by like 6 or like 10, it felt like 20. Because anytime we always score, then they'll score back. Mm-hmm. Then they don't score, we'll do a turnover. I'm like, brother, like we did not have
there was a stretch in that fourth,
game.
Especially where we were rolling, and then the Lakers weren't doing anything offensively, and the Knicks had Brunson turnover, and it's just ugly, man, ugly.
Yeah, like we had a chance to win the game, so it just we low key kind of beat ourselves with this game, so it ain't too crazy. But I just thought the Lakers fought more. Like I seen like their rookie or I don't know, one of those shooting guards that get like 3 or 4 rebounds over us. Smart, hustling, throwing the ball for Brunson. Like you clearly see they wanted this game a lot. But I'm gonna give him Cat his flowers because he have been playing well.
Yep.
Like his shots been falling. He's been taking mid-range shots. Yeah. I always say, can we take a mid-range shots? Can this be something different? I've been seeing some mid-range shots. He's been more control attacking the rim. He'll get his offensive fouls here and there, but it's not as so much. So I like to see that, knowing like we're 1 month away from the playoffs. Bridges right now had a goose egg.
Goose egg, man. 0 points.
I think after that turnover that he threw it to try to throw to OG, I was like, yeah, just sit him down. I think that was like kind of third quarter, like probably like 4 minutes left. I was like, yo, just sit him down the rest of the game. There's like, there's no point. Like he's just doing cardio. Luka's cooking. Yep. It's not like he's hustling for rebounds like that. He's jumping over people. So it's like, you like a shout out to Clarkson though, because for 10 minutes, or I think he had 9 points.
Yep.
That's kind of good, knowing like you haven't been playing at all, but we had a chance to win. And all the people talking about Brunson in a slump, I'm low key fine with it. Like he been carrying in the regular season so much, he kind of gets like a little break from like trying to drop 30 and 40. Like maybe today he kind of needed to because Bridges had 0, but
yeah.
I don't believe that's always going to happen, but I'm kind of fine with it because I'd rather playoff time, he turn it up. We don't need him trying to go crazy and get injured.
Yeah.
But that's all I really got to say.
Hey, great call, man. Appreciate you, as always, calling into the show. Great calls tonight from El Figgy and Say Quizzy. Let's go. Yeah, Say Quizzy says he's low-key fine with Brunson struggling like this because he has been carrying us, but I'm like the assists have been up, right? The assists have been up. He's averaging 11.8 assists in this month of March. Now, this is the number, like 36% from the field, but he is 40% from 3. It's the mid-range stuff that just really he hasn't, and that's not Brunson, right? He's just struggling from those middies and the free throw line, this type of stuff. So look, 47% in January, 45% in February, and he's shooting 36% in the month of March. And yeah, it really like happened in the Chicago game. After that one, it's just been inefficient. And look, he bleeds, right? He's not perfect, but the assists have been up. But what today showed you is that, you know, when he gives you those 7 turnovers and the efficiency has dipped, you're gonna struggle. You are. But everything just can't be on Brunson. Like, I can't sit there and say Brunson did this, Brunson did that, and have Mikal Bridges staring at me with a goose egg. Like, come on now. Join the party. Join the party. El Figgy says Cat needs to attempt 15 a game minimum. He needs to demand the basketball. Look, Brunson played late. Somebody asked, why did Jalen Brunson play 42 minutes? He played majority into that fourth quarter. Like, it felt like he took it upon himself, or Mike Brown, like, just wanted him to be out there because Mike Brown was, like, searching for offense when in reality your center was kind of the person out there that should have been just fed. Like, tonight should have just been a Cat dominating 35 and 16, like one of those classic Shaq games that I thought probably would have had. Like, I wouldn't have cared if Cat took like 30 attempts today. I wouldn't have. Now, that's not his game, but sometimes like you're the mismatch. Like, you're the mismatch. Cat is a mismatch. Cat is a 7-foot mismatch for opponents. And he's been playing better. So, yeah, it just didn't work out today for the New York Knicks. And hopefully they get back on track tomorrow. Once again, appreciate you guys in the chat. Shout out to the chat. Smash the like button, subscribe if you're new here. Really appreciate the support as well. Barry is in the chat. What's going on, Barry? Appreciate you, Barry, in the chat. CJ. What's going on, CJ? Appreciate every single one of you guys in the chat. Maine says, why did Brunson play 42 minutes? Yeah, I mean, yeah. You know, especially in a back-to-back. Buzzer beater. What's going on, buzzer beater? Especially in a back-to-back, like 42 minutes from Jalen Brunson. It's not like he was, like, tearing it up. Little bit. Like, I know Mike Brown probably didn't want to go back to Jose because Jose really wasn't doing anything. But, you know, maybe go to Kolek for, like, 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Like, hey, get in the game, young man. Let's start this offense up. But buzzer beater, AP says, buzzer beater, you are everywhere. All right, here's the schedule. You know, we went through it earlier, but the schedule for the New York Knicks, again, they now are 2.5 games behind the Boston Celtics. That's the only thing that sucks coming out of this, right? You really want them to gain ground on the Celtics and the Detroit Pistons, right? Because let's not, you know, forget about that. You know, Knicks win tonight. They're all of a sudden like 4.5 games behind Detroit. Not saying they're going to catch the Pistons for number one, but hey, you never know. You never know. You're in LA tomorrow, 10 p.m. Oof. 10 p.m. Eastern time. Oof. Can I get a... Man, is that the last one of the season? Please, please. 10 p.m. Then a 9 p.m. Yeah, that's the last 10 p.m. of the season. Thank God. Jeez. 10 p.m. against the Clippers. Hopefully the Knicks can wake up on that one. But let's go. The Clippers have been playing well over their last 5 games. Right? They're 3-2. Prior to that, they were stinking a lot. Boy, whoa. What am I doing? That's early on in the season. Whoa. Okay, over their last 5 games, they're 5-1. 4-1. I am all over the place. You know, they gave the Spurs a run for their money. Was that the Wemby crying game? When Wemby cried over that win? I think it was. They almost beat the Spurs. Now they got the Knicks at home. So, Buzzer Beater says 5 firsts for the goose egg. Yeah, I knew it was coming. AP, yes, 7 p.m. LA time. He says, I think the Clippers win tomorrow. I said we would go 15-3 for the remainder of the season. We just lost 1. CJ says Lakers had 30 free throws and 15 threes. We had 21 and 8. Yep, I mean, guys, you're not going to win too many games when you're shooting that poorly from 3. Yet the Knicks gave them a run for their money in the 4th, and I wouldn't even say a run for their money. Like, it was still double-digit lead, and it just never spiraled into anything, right? So Clippers have been playing better, so the Knicks got to come out with their A game. Like, enough of this, you know, lack of energy. You know, enough to start these games, right? Because it has been the energy to start these games. The losses that we've experienced has been the energy. But again, we're still in a good spot. Just get me to the playoffs. But I still do want this Knicks team to finish. They're definitely finishing top 3. I don't see them finishing 4th. If they finish 4th, something has horribly gone wrong. And I don't see that. I don't. Because, like I said, the schedule. It is super. I think we have the 5th easiest schedule remaining. You know? So, obviously, you have this 4-game trip. Charlotte, OKC, Houston, Memphis. That's Memphis stinks, but those 3 games are tough. Charlotte's not a layup. They're not. So, come out tomorrow. Be more aggressive. hopefully they can be more efficient and win the game. If they do that, then I think we win. If they don't, I think we lose. And I just don't want that to be the case. Then you're even further from Boston, and that's exactly what we don't want. We want this Knicks team to finish strong, and we'll see where they fall in the East. But right now they're number 3. And if the season ended today, it would be Knicks, Magic in the first round. It's crazy. Crazy, right? Knicks Magic. MSG South. Joseph says, hope he gets traded in the offseason. Bridges sucks. Iron Man, but can't do anything on the floor. Oof. Joseph bringing that flame in here. Here's what I'll say, Joseph. If things don't go as planned in April, May, and hopefully June, in the first 3 rounds, if they get to the finals, then it's like, okay, every single year, we've moved the goalpost. What more can you ask from this team? If they get to the finals, of course, you would want them to win for the first time since 73. But anything before that is, some changes will happen this summer. But we don't want to get there. I don't want to get there yet. I still do think this team is I just don't want to, like, when they lose, I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, blow it up. This team sucks. They put together a big stretch here where they've proven that, at least you just have to judge them in the playoffs. That's kind of where I'm at. Like, we're getting down to the point where I'm just like, okay, let me see where we're at in the first round, second round, third round. Like, it's important to sustain some rhythm heading into the postseason like the Indiana Pacers did last year. And they took that and went all the way to Game 7 in the NBA Finals. It's important to do that. Obviously, some magic carpet stuff from them. But, yeah. Yeah. AP says if they get to the finals, it's a success. Yeah. We just have to see how it looks. We need the flame. Buzzer says Luka the Trout Doncic flops like a fish out the water. Did you guys see? This is what I'm talking about. This play right here. I mean, what the heck is this? What does Muhammad Diawara have to do in this position? What does he have to do? I guess he's like honestly, what's the ref's reasoning? He's biting up. It doesn't give him enough space. But the flopping to the floor, like, come on, man. Loser stuff. Mikal getting smoked by Smart was humiliating. Yes. Sometimes I wish if Mikal Bridges had the same desire as like a Marcus Smart on every possession, he would be an amazing basketball player. But he isn't. Like, that's not him. Like, he's not diving for the loose balls. I mean, he's just out there and playing within the system and doing everything right. And he has been defensively, he has been better. I want to point that out. But again, like, anytime you see a 0 by a player's name, especially Mikal Bridges, in the starting lineup, that's a problem. That's not something I would like to see again. Buzzer Beater says Mikal avoids physical contact. Yep. Oscar award season in LA, and the best actor goes to Luka. And that's Luka. And the funny thing is, he did like a money symbol to the refs today. Probably get fined for that. Luka's one that like cries over everything. Always getting texts, cries over everything, and he's still flopping and getting these calls. So, here we are. Once again, shout out to the chat. 40 people in here. Appreciate every single one of you in here. Rock with me this Sunday on March the 8th. Knicks got another game tomorrow. Be on the lookout for more content coming your way. Appreciate the members as well. If you guys want to become a member, do a lot of members only videos for the members. I would really appreciate the support. You guys can hit the Discord, doing giveaways. The KnicksNation hats are on the website right now. Have the garden blue ones and the black one. The garden blue one is my favorite, but sometimes I like rocking the black one. And yeah, we just got another game tomorrow, and we got to go get them. Just come out tomorrow and win. That's it. That's it. El Figgy says, when Mikal is in the paint and goes for fadeaways, middle is crazy work. Yeah. Home run hitter says Mike Brown and Jalen Brunson through this game. Man, you see, I like when you guys come in here with these comments, man. Mike Brown and Jalen Brunson threw this game. They threw it. Check their FanDuel. Nah. Come on. Just a lazy game. Buzzer Beater says hit the like and subscribe. Appreciate you, Buzzer Beater. AP says tomorrow is the anniversary of Biggie Smalls passing 29 years. Wow, rest in peace, Biggie Smalls. And if you don't know, now you know. And I guess we can end it on that. Appreciate you guys in the chat once again. You guys are awesome. I'll be back doing post game tomorrow. Gotta get the coffee for that one. 10 p.m. 10 p.m. I'm Anthony from KnicksNation. Have a good night. Have a good Sunday. I'll catch you next time. Peace.
Brunson a three. Bam! Jalen Brunson does it again.